So when we're experiencing stress in the body, some really interesting biochemistry happens. And normally this would be okay under the right circumstances. So when we're thinking about stress, like if you were out in the woods and you encountered a bear, you would want to have that fight or flight response kick into action right away. You would want to be able to run from the bear and then be able to get to safety and survive. And you would want your heart rate to go up and your breathing to go up, and you would want your liver to release some sugar to your muscle cells so you could like literally run away from the bear and be safe. And that would be a really good thing. And in fact, that survival instinct is like a primal survival instinct for us. We really want to have that happen, especially if there is a dangerous situation. But now what is happening in our modern day world and related to our entire lives is that many of us are feeling stress on like a chronic level. So we're feeling stress 24/7, or we're having a lot of episodes of stress or triggers, and it's kind of keeping us stuck in this fight or flight mode. So what happens is when we're having this stress going on, we are kicked into fight or flight mode. Your brain is perceiving that there is a danger and that it needs to protect you. And so what happens is that we get an increase in stress hormones like cortisol, and we also get an increase in hormones like adrenaline. And all of those are really designed to like get you amped up and fired up so that you can escape from the danger. But what else happens is that your liver is perceiving this danger as well, and it starts releasing extra sugar into the blood to send to your muscle cells so you can run away. But the problem is there's really nothing to run away from except for what's inside of your own head, but it's like your body doesn't know this, and so all of those extra sugars and that extra cortisol and that extra adrenaline create the perfect storm to actually help you store fat right in the belly area. So just when you're the most stressed out about it and you really don't want to be storing fat, you end up doing so because of the physiology of what is going on inside of your mind, that survival instinct. And the interesting thing is that this can actually be like chronic, everyday stress. It can be the stress of jobs and relationships, parents, kids, money, life, traffic, all of that. That can certainly be a contributor. But what we're also learning is that a lot of this stress can be stress that is related to events that happened in our childhood. And that's not something that we normally think about, but a lot of what happens in our childhood on an emotional level actually ends up affecting us at a physical level as adults. And we might not even know why we're triggered by something, and it may actually be related to what's called an adverse childhood event from childhood. And there's a whole list of those. But those can also play a very important role when it comes to stressors for our physical bodies, and can also end up being the trigger for helping us to store fat. And one of the primary reasons for that is because people end up using food as a coping tool. So again, I can tell people, don't eat those carbs, watch out for those comfort foods, make sure you eat healthy foods and so on. But if there's so much chaos going on in the brain or so much emotional stress that's being triggered, those words pretty much just go out of the window. So we really do need to pay attention to the effect that stress is having when it comes to losing weight and also keeping it off. So as you can see, it's simply not enough to go on yet another diet or join the gym. What we really need to do is to honor the emotions and take a deeper look at why we are using food to cope. And the great news is that there really is hope. As a dietitian and a personal trainer, of course, I do love helping people with their food and their exercise, but what I'm really passionate about is helping people with the healing the stressors and the traumas that are truly at the root cause of their cravings and their emotional eating. And it's such important work. To be honest, it's really the only thing that I've found that helps people lose the weight and keep it off. In fact, I'm pretty much to the point where it's very hard for me to just give people another diet and then send them on their way, because I know deep down that it probably won't be successful, and I don't want to set people up for failure again. So the great news is that there are some very powerful, wonderful, and effective ways to make this better. There are actually ways to calm down the stress response, to decrease your cortisol, to decrease your adrenaline levels, and also to increase your serotonin and your dopamine levels without food. And that is what I would love to help you with. So if you are tired of feeling frustrated and hopeless, let's talk. Send me an email at excelweightloss@gmail.com, and we will schedule a free session to find out what is going on with you and some amazing ways to make it better. Just email me at excelweightloss@gmail.com, and we will get that set up. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to connect with you very soon.